Hello, lovelies. Good day and welcome back to my channel. My name is Uluwatu Singh. In case you're hearing my voice for the first time, and you're welcome. So, all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. Thank you so much, guys, for always stopping by my videos. In today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to make this rich anti vibe Adire Bubu with Ashoki on the neck, just like you are seeing on the screen. In case you are coming across my channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel and don't just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you get notified when next I upload new video on this channel. So basically this bubu is so easy to make, and here are the basic measurements required to measure on any adult at all to achieve a bubu like this. So right here is the Adire fabric we'll be working on. I used 3.5 yards of the Adire, and this is the Ashoke that we are going to be using for this project. And this dress is not going to have joining on the shoulder line like this. The front and back will be cut together. They won't be joining on the shoulder lines. For this reason is the full length that I'm going to consider when I'm bringing out this fabric. So I'll be measuring the full length in two places, and because I want to fold it down big, I'm going to be adding 6 inches allowance. So this person's full length is 57. I proceeded to measuring 57 twice, and then I added 6 inches allowance. I'll be using 3 inches to fold it at the front, then 3 inches to fold it at the back. So whatever the person's full length is, just measure it twice the way I'm measuring, and then you had at least 4 inches allowance, 2 for folding at the front and 2 for folding at the back, or you can use 3. Like in my case, I used 3 for front, 3 for back. That's 6 inches. So I folded that, and you know that before I brought out the full length, my fabric was already on fold of 2. So altogether now on fold of 4. So the first thing I marked was the neckline. I used neck piece of 7 divided by 2, 3.5, and then I used neck depth of 1 for the back and then 7 for the front. The back is a round neck and the front is a V-neck. So I proceeded to marking out my neckline. After that, you mark your shoulder line. Actual shoulder line for a fitted dress is 14. Divided by 2 is supposed to give me 7. But because this dress is a cut together sleeve and shoulder is now 26, on fold of 2, I marked 13. Then I marked the armhole divided by 2. Then from the shoulder line, I proceeded to marking a half length. Then from a half length, I went downward with 8 inches because she's not really a tall person. If she was a tall person, I would have used 9. This is me trying to mark out my hip line. So from the shoulder line, you mark the half length. From the half length, mark 8 or 9 inches depending on the person's height. So on this particular mark, that's the hip line now, you measure a hip divided by 4. I added 4 inches allowance because obviously this is a free dress, it's not a fitted dress. Then I came back to marking her bust 2 inches after the armhole I marked her bust divided by 4. I added 4 inches allowance, and then I connected all these markings together and proceeded to cutting it out. I cut out the neckline as well. I cut out neckline for front and neckline for back. The next thing I pinned this down so that the length doesn't shift when I'm cutting. So the next thing to do is to open it up just the way I'm doing. Then you mark the slit length. Now this dress has a slit at the front. So firstly mark the allowance for folding, and then from there you mark your slit length depending on how long you want the slit to be. In my case, I used 12, so altogether I used 15. With the allowance for folding, I said I was going to use 3 inches to fold it, and then the length of the slit itself is 12, so I marked 15. The next thing to do, just mark the shoulder line, because there's no joining on the shoulder line. Once you open it up like this, you might have difficulty identifying the exact point that is the shoulder line. So it's better you mark it at this point before you open up your fabric. So from the shoulder line, I marked where I want my ashoke to stop, depending on where you want yours to stop. But in my case, I used 2 inches plus the half length. Then I cut out my ashoke that I already attached my interfacing on. I used stay in this case. You can use paper stay as well. This is just to prevent your ashoke from fraying. So I used the easiest method to cut out this ashoke. I just placed it on the neckline and then I traced it out. After I was done attaching my interfacing to my ashoke, I just placed the ashoke on my adire and then I traced it out. I cut it out as you can see. I'm going to be putting the picture up so that you guys can understand what I'm trying to cut out easily. Depending on the pattern or the design that you're trying to achieve. Just mark it the way you see it or the way you imagine it in your mind, and then you cut it out. So I did all of that. I'll be putting the picture by the side, like I said, so that you can understand what I'm trying to mark out. I did that, and then I just proceeded to cutting out the ashoke. Please, if at this point you are still with me and you've not subscribed, kindly consider subscribing to my channel, and don't just subscribe. Turn on the notification bell beside the subscribe button so that you can get notified when next I upload new video on this channel. So I did all of my marking, I cut out my ashoke, and then from what I cut out, I attached it to that other side to give it a little bit of extension, the just as it is in the picture. So the next thing I'll be doing after this is to attach my ashoke down on my adire. So firstly, I'll be joining that small piece to the wider piece of the ashoke before turning the neckline. When you are turning the neckline now, the right side of the ashoke will face the wrong side of the adire, and then you turn the neckline, you flip the ashoke outward to the right side of the adire. You give that a very good press. You can even turn the neckline with hemming gum. Like I turned the neckline with hemming gum so that it will sit perfectly on my adire, and then you start folding the edge. At that point where my finger is touching, I notched it a little, like half inch, so that you can fold the edge easily, so that that point is going to be as neat as possible. So I folded the edge round. I gave that a very good press. When I say fold, I stitched it down on my adire. I stitched it down on my adire, and I folded it inward with half inch before stitching it down on my adire. Then for the ashoke on the round sleeve, I made it 3 inches wide. I attached my interfacing, and then I placed the right side of the ashoke on the wrong side of the adire. I stitched it, I flipped it to the right side, and then I matched it down. The next thing to do is to mark where my inseam pocket is going to be, because this dress is not complete without an inseam pocket. So I marked that. In case you don't know how to sew an inseam pocket, I have a detailed video on how to do that. I'll be putting the link up and also in the description box. So I marked for the both sides where the inseam pocket will be. Then the next thing after this is to fold the edge of my slit. To fold the edge of my slit, I'll create a channel for me to be able to do that perfectly. So from where my slit stops, I'll sew 2 inches upward. From where I stop cutting my slit, I'll sew 2 inches upward. After sewing that 2 inches upward, I'll cut it open a little bit. That way I'll be able to fold my slit on both sides, to the left and to the right. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say. This is like just a way of me trying to create a little bit, will I say, channel for me to be able to fold my slits perfectly. So when you are done doing that, fold your slits the way I'm doing. When you fold from down upward on one side, you fold it to the other side, and then you do the same thing. After this, proceed to shaping. To shape this, you start by measuring your round sleeve or armhole. You start by measuring your armhole on your round sleeve so that it's not going to be fitted. This person's round sleeve at that bicep region is 12, but the armhole is 16. So what I measured here is 8 instead of 6. That means the armhole divided by 2. So you shape from up to down. When you get to where your inseam pocket is going to be, you will skip that part, and then you continue your shaping to the whole length of the dress. Like I said, if you don't know how to attach an inseam pocket to a dress, just check the link to the video in the description box. So after shaping for both sides, I just shaped with like half inch from up to down. I attached my inseam pocket. Then I folded the down of my dress with the 3 inches allowance that I had it at the initial point of cutting this dress. And when I was done doing all of these things, I said my boo came out looking like this. Trust me when I tell you that mannequin is not doing justice to this dress. Like, it came out looking beautiful, giving the owner of this dress the rich auntie look. So thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning of this video till this point. If you have any question, kindly ask me down in the comment section. And if you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.